Today we're going to talk about running with hearing loss, so stay tuned. If you are somebody with hearing loss and wear hearing aids and want to run, okay, let's get inspired. Deaf people can do anything hearing people can do except hear. That was quoted by I. King Jordan, a former president of Gallaudet University. We can learn so much from the deaf culture. And people who are deaf and hard of hearing wear hearing aids or cochlear implants. Even people who are deaf and blind and use Braille as a way of understanding the world around them. I've always been inspired by many people in the deaf community, in the deaf and hard of hearing community. Signing's a little rusty. There's a lot of people who are pro athletes with hearing loss or deafness, or they are culturally deaf, that have been very, very successful in any kind of sport. I mean, look at all of these different sports. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, pool, swimming. I mean, this is fantastic, this long list. So, did that inspire you to go running? Now, I'm not saying go out there and be the fastest runner in a marathon, but we should be inspired by others that did not let their hearing loss or their deafness stop them from doing anything. Remember, deaf people can do anything that hearing people can do except hear. When I was around 12 years old, I started running just casually, just kind of getting used to the whole concept of running. And then when I got into my older ages, I'm still very young, by the way. As I got a little older, I took it a little bit more seriously and started to do half marathons. And I started off with 5Ks, and I went to 10Ks, then I went to half marathons and done several of them. I have it on my bucket list to do a marathon. 4 hours of running. Can you imagine 4 hours of running? But that would be my time. I mean, people can do it in 3 hours. People even done it in 2 hours. That's insane. That's like zoom. Where'd they go? That's like a zoom. Now, I've lost my hearing when I was around 2 years old. I have an acquired hearing loss. I'm severe, profound, but that's not the point of this video to talk about me. The only reason why I mention it is because it's important for you to know where your hearing falls on that spectrum. I have mentioned it before in another video. If you want to check that out, I'll link it up here. The difference between deaf and hard of hearing, and it shows a little spectrum there. Just my way of keeping things simple. Now, this video is to talk about people who wear hearing aids, specifically hearing aids, because that's the only experience I have. I do not have cochlears, and I did not grow up not wearing hearing aids and just signing primarily. People who are deaf and grew up and were born into a deaf culture, they don't have the problem that you and I might have if you have hearing loss or you're just learning about it for your family. It is really important to understand that their culture, they live without hearing, period. It is not a loss to them. It isn't a lost sense. They have other ways of learning how to perceive hearing into their body, whether it's through vibration or using facial expressions, body language, all those things. They put a lot of pieces together. They do very, very, very well. So this isn't intended for people who are in the deaf community. This is intended for people who acquired hearing loss or were born with hearing loss and still can hear with hearing aids and want to take up the sport of running. And I have a little bit of experience with that. Some things to remember before starting to run is cost. Cost of your hearing aids can go anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000 depending on whether you have one hearing aid or two hearing aids. It's very important to understand that the cost of your hearing aids is going to dictate whether you run with your hearing aids or not. And a lot of hearing aids are water resistant, but they are not waterproof. So you have to keep that in mind as well. As I mentioned before, my own hearing loss and my level of hearing loss. So do you have mild hearing loss, moderate hearing loss, or severe, profound? That's going to help you decide on what to do, whether you're going to listen to music or through earbuds. And of course, if you have any medical conditions, you want to consult with your primary care provider before running. Now, I've been running for quite some time now. Like I said, I'm still young, so maybe it's only a couple of years I've been running. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is not wearing hearing aids. I take them out and I put them off to the side, and what do I do before I go on the run? This is what I'm going to talk about. The reason I don't like to wear my hearing aids is because I like to have the air going into the canals and keeping my ear dry. I like to keep my ear canals dry because when you get sweaty and you have hearing aids in, it gets very moist, warm, and guess what? Little bugs like to grow in that environment. I don't really want to worry about my hearing aids because my hearing aids cost me $4,000. So I'd rather just leave them home and just keep them safe there. One thing that I do miss when I don't wear my hearing aids during a run is music. I love to listen to music when I'm running, but I have pretty significant hearing loss, so to wear hearing buds or earbuds, whatever you call those darn things, if I wear earbuds, I am not going to hear the music the way I like to hear it. I can feel the vibration and I can kind of get the drums, or when the guitar's playing, I can kind of make out one word or two once in a while, but I really have a hard time with earbuds. Like these little guys, they don't really work with my hearing loss. But sometimes I'll just wear them so that I will feel the music and go on and do that. It's fun. When I'm not wearing my hearing aids, I will not hear the cars or if dogs are barking or somebody's calling out to me. Those are the things I miss. I've had people pull over and wave me down and ask me where to go and how to get somewhere. And I'm like, I will miss my music. I'll miss any kind of environmental warnings or alerts. I won't be able to talk to people while I'm running if they need to stop me and have a conversation for whatever reason that may be. Why would somebody stop me to have a conversation when I am running? I don't know. I could go on a rant, but I'm not going to. I generally don't wear my hearing aids if I'm going for a shorter run. A shorter run for me may be different for you. Especially if you're beginning to run, you might just start off with a half a mile, 1 mile, whatnot. Any run that's under 3 miles, for me, I don't want to wear my hearing aids because it's going to only take me about 20-30 minutes to have that run complete. And I generally run around in my own neighborhood, so I know when I'll be back, and I know the neighborhood pretty well, and I can stay pretty safe. And I know enough neighbors in my neighborhood that if I had a problem, I could knock on their door and ask them to call my husband. If I go on vacation, I'm new to that area, I will first go out and walk the area, the general area, for a couple of days so I can have an understanding of what's around me. And then I will plan to run another day. It just makes it easier to know your environment, where you can go for help if you need it, if you're not going to wear your hearing aids while running. And another thing you can do is go running with your dog. If you do not wear your hearing aids, run with your dog. Your dog will alert you when a car is coming, or if somebody's calling out to you, or if a dog's going to bark at you, that type of thing. You can go running with your best friend. You can go running with your husband. And definitely practice good situational awareness, always knowing what's going on around you. My biggest advice is always bring your phone. If you're not going to be wearing your hearing aids during your run and you need to make a phone call, like say 911 emergency services, then you won't be able to call, right? So in my state where I live, they have text to 911. So you can text right on your phone, and it will go right to 911, and then you can communicate right through text, which is awesome. And you can use that service on Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. I'll put a link down below so you can check out your state and see if that is available, that text to 911. Have your phone with you at all times. Now, wearing my hearing aids during my run, when do I do it? I do it when I have longer runs. If I run any more than 3 miles, then I want to wear my hearing aids because I just need the music. I need the music to keep me pumped up, especially if I'm doing a kind of intense run. Then I'm going to want to have something that kind of picks me up and keeps me going, especially when I get to like mile 6. Mile 6 is my I need a little pick-me-upper, and that's not only a little sugar or some running gel or anything. I need music. I need something to scream in my ear and tell me to move it. Sometimes I'll have a long casual run, which is just, it's going out there, take your time, just enjoy the scenery. But sometimes it can be a little long, so I like to listen to podcasts or an audiobook. Kind of keeps my mind occupied and distracts me from overthinking about work, things I have to do, my to-do list. And I have to remember sometimes that when I am listening to music or podcasts or so forth, I don't look like I have earbuds on. People aren't going to see my hearing aids. I mean, they're behind my ears. I have these behind the ear hearing aids, so they're not going to see them because usually I have my hair up and it's tied back and it covers my hearing aid. They have no idea that I'm listening to music. So people will still attempt to try to talk to you, and you just need to say, hold on a minute, and turn your phone off and talk away. And why do they bother you when you run? Now, what do I use for a run as far as listening to music? I used to use a streamer that went to my T-coil. So the streamer, I would tuck it into my sports bra, and of course I would cover the streamer itself with some sort of sock or something so it wouldn't get drenched in sweat. Put it in my sports bra, or if you're a male, you can just tape it to your chest. That's one way of doing it. But I don't use the T-coil through my streamer anymore. I now have hearing aids that have Bluetooth technology, and I am able to stream directly to my phone. So now I wear my hearing aids and I put my phone into my pocket or a running belt, which I haven't got yet. I just ordered it and I'm looking forward to having it, see if I like it. It's not a fanny pack. I don't want to have a fanny pack. I have a runner's belt. No fanny pack for me. Nope. A runner belt, from what I can see on the website, I got it on Amazon. I'll link the picture here and a link down below in the description. Has a place for all your essentials, your phone, your keys, and that type of thing. And it's pretty slim. It looks like really close to the body, and it doesn't look like a fanny pack. Once I get that, maybe I'll share a review on that. If you're curious, go ahead, comment down below if you want to know what my review is on that fanny pack. It's not a fanny pack. It's a runner's belt. Wearing hearing aids where you run gets really sweaty. Hearing aids are water resistant, not proof, so you have no idea how much you're going to sweat. Good idea to put something between the hearing aid and your head, like a sweatband. I usually put one on my head behind my hearing aid, and then I'll wear my runner's cap over that, over my ears, so that the hearing aids don't fall out or get exposed to the sun or the cold weather, the rain, to snow. Also, having the cap over your hearing aids will block the microphone from getting hit by wind. If I'm running with the wind coming to my hearing aid, it is so loud that it drowns out any music or any podcast or audiobook that I'm listening to. So it's good to have it covered. There was one day that I went without covering it, and all I heard with this wind, so I had to run with my hand in front of my ear like this, and run. Yeah, this is so much fun. I also did was I took my bad ear and I blocked my head to the wind this way. So I had to run like this. So the bad ear is getting the wind, and this way, this ear I could hear. It wasn't fun. So get a headband over your ears or a running cap. If you want to sign up for a race sometime, maybe a 5K, which is about 3 miles, a 10K, a half marathon, or a marathon, it's important to be prepared before you run. Do you want to wear your hearing aids or not? If your hearing aids are so expensive and you can't replace them if they get damaged by sweat, if you fall down and you hit a rock and it breaks, whatever might happen to your hearing aid, you have to know that you might buy another one, right? So knowing the tactics or how the runs are functioned and organized and set up, then you will be prepared and you may not need your hearing aids, because there are tons of people at a race. It's pretty awesome to be in a huge area with a bunch of runners running to be healthy, running to be successful, and finishing their race. It's so much fun to be a runner in a race. You gotta try it someday. When you go to a race, you may see little signage that has numbers on it, like 9, 10, and 11. The 9 and under, or maybe even 8. 8 would be like the fastest runners you'll ever see. They're like, pew! And then 9 is a little bit slower, 10's a little bit slower. You went ahead and signed up for your first 5K. Awesome, right? So now is the planning stages. Are you going to wear the hearing aid or are you not? Do you want to listen to music or do you not? Like all these little questions that you want to ask yourself. But the biggest advice I can give you, prepare to go to the race before the race actually starts. Look on the website, look at the route that the run is. They always have a map of where the run is, around the neighborhood, or which street to take a right, left, and all that kind of stuff. You want to know where the start and finish is. See if you know anybody. Maybe you could hook up with friends and go with them. And when you get to the race day, get there early, park early, get down to the race area, find out where the start line is, and get there early and just get yourself familiar with the area. If you do not wear your hearing aids, you're going to be able to hear everything fine by visual. Like you'll be able to see everything. You'll see the announcer, see all kinds of people just all over the place, sitting down, getting ready, tightening their shoes, doing whatever they do, putting putting a sunblock on. Just observe and see what everybody's doing and just learn from them as you go. You're around so many people that not having a hearing aids it's not a big deal. It's just go with it and just follow people. All of a sudden, you'll start to notice that, people will start to migrate to one area. All these people just kind of get together and they start to form this line, and they all go to the starting line. Also, see if you can find the digital countdown for when the race actually starts. So keeping an eye on that, watching some people, just observing and having a good time and enjoying the weather, and have fun running. And when you get to the finish line, just high five everybody. You can run with hearing loss, no problem. When I took running a little bit more seriously, I went ahead and downloaded Map My Run. And that was really good because I could see where I was going, how many miles I was going, how fast I was going, what was the elevation of the hills that I did. So it was kind of fun to use that app and just kind of monitor how my run was. But if you liked a certain route because it felt safe and you knew everything about it and it was hard and challenging and easy and relaxing, all those things, whatever you like in a run, you want to be able to keep that run on your app, and then you can refer to it and run that another time. If you have hearing loss in both ears, but one is worse than the other, for myself, when I'm running, I have a bad ear, which is my left side, and my right ear is my good side. So I try to make sure the road is on my right side so that I can hear what's coming behind me or what's coming in front of me better when I'm wearing my hearing aid. If I'm not wearing my hearing aid, I do the same thing because it's my better ear. I have some sound in there. I will definitely hear a motorcycle. I will probably hear a very loud, big, bad boy's truck or something, but I won't hear a little teeny car going by, No. My biggest advice is if you do run with your hearing aids and your ears get sweaty and you've decided to go from a 5K to a 10K to a half marathon and your ears are getting really sweaty, come home, take them right out, allow your ears to dry, get some air in there, take your hearing aids and the mold part of it, make sure you clean it with some soap and water, and then you want to put it in some sort of a drying kit. There's one I've used for many years, and then I upgraded to this kind of machine looking thing here. I've heard people actually dropping their hearing aids into rice because rice absorbs water. That's an option if you have no other way of getting the moisture out of your hearing aid. When it comes to drying your ears, it's best to just fan your ear or go someplace where you can, feel the breeze and the wind, and that can dry your ear. I was told by an audiologist in the past to never use a hair dryer as something to dry your hair because the hair dryer itself is very loud and that could cause more noise-induced problems to your own hearing. I don't know how true that is. There's different frequencies of different sounds. You get to a certain threshold, gets a little too much for your hearing, and it can cause noise-induced hearing loss. That's why you'll see people wearing headphones or these protectors over their ears when they're mowing or using a leaf blower or any of that, because that type of noise is extremely loud for somebody who has regular hearing. But we don't know the difference, and I don't know. So tell me below if you know anything about if a hair dryer is a little bit too loud for the actual hearing. Be nice to hear from you, or an audiologist, or somebody with hearing loss, or somebody that just knows all about it, a doctor, an ENT doctor. Let me know what you think about using a hair dryer against the ear to dry it out. Is it a problem? Comment below. I would love to know. And keeping the ears nice and dry, it will reduce the chances of getting infections like otitis externa. Those are the little bugs in there that are already on your skin, the normal stuff that's already all over your body. You put moisture there and you occlude it and it's dark, so you're going to get some itchiness and irritation, and the bacteria in your ears are going to have a party, and you don't want that. So keep them dry. We cover a lot in this video as far as running. I think it's the most important thing is to ask yourself, the cost of my hearing aids, the risk and benefits of wearing my hearing aids or not. That's really important. It's your safety. It's your cost of your hearing aids. Are you going to be able to hear with earbuds or not? If you wear your hearing aids, what are you going to do to protect them from the elements as well as from the sweat? If you decide to sign up for a run, then you want to be prepared before you go the start and finish line. Watch people, observe, maybe even talk to the announcer and say, hey, I'm hard of hearing. Where do I go? What do I do? Can you tell me when I should start? Maybe you can stand by and he could say, hey, you gotta go. Bang, bang, start. I think it's really important. Always, always, always have your phone with you. Even if you cannot do the text to 911 thing, you can still call 911 on the phone and say, I am deaf, I'm having a problem, I can't hear you, I don't have text to 911 on my phone. Keep on talking, just talk about your address, where you are, what the problem is. Just keep repeating that until somebody shows up. It's important to have 911 always available for any circumstance. All right, that's it for my video. Long drawn out, and yeah, I think that that's all I have to cover. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, go ahead and smash that like button, and please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification button so that you will know about future videos. All right, take care. Bye. Remember, deaf people can do anything hearing people can do except hear. Peace.